Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a case that is ongoing and currently taking Colorado and pretty much everywhere by storm. And that is the case of my hero, Gannon Stauch. I have a deep connection with this case and I'm not really sure why. Of all these little men I have in my life, and his love for Sonic and video games, and the way he talks about his video games as he's playing them like he has his own YouTube channel. He just melts my heart, and I feel like I know him. So a little backstory on Gannon. Gannon only had a 10% chance of life expectancy. He was born under 2 pounds. I believe it was 1 pound 6 ounces. Gannon was only given a 10% chance of life expectancy, and then if he was to surpass that 10% chance of life expectancy, he was supposedly going to be severely disabled. And none of that was true. Gannon not only lived, obviously, but he flourished. He was talented and creative, and he was a normal little boy, and he just melted the hearts of everyone who knew him. 11-year-old Gannon Stauch was reported missing by his stepmother, Letitia T. Stauch, on January 27th, 2020. Gannon lived with his father, Albert, who was part of the Colorado Springs National Guard, and his stepmother, Letitia T. Stauch, who was an educator of sorts. I don't know if she still was or had been, but she was an educator of sorts. His biological mother, Landon, lived in South Carolina. He states that Gannon stayed home from school that Monday because of some stomach issues, and that later on in the day, around 3:30, 4 o'clock, he came downstairs while she was doing an exercise in the basement and asked if he could go walk to a friend's house. He said, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Well, I guess Gannon never came home, so T reported him missing. Now, originally, Gannon was labeled a runaway, and that's only because his cell phone was found, and the last search done on it was something along the lines of, can my parents track me by GPS if I turn my phone off? Or, how long can my parents track me for without my phone? Or something along those lines. He soon was updated to a missing and endangered child due to the weather conditions in Colorado. It was very cold out around that time, as well as the fact that Gannon needed medications. So Gannon was at risk without his medications. He needed them. T's recollection of accounts would be called into question when a nearby neighbor shared with local authorities a security camera footage of T leaving that morning with Gannon. So in this security video, you see T walking in. She opens the driver's side door, gets in. The car right now, the security footage shows T getting into her red truck, which is right now parked on the actual road outside of the home. She gets in the car, she pulls out and backs in the driveway. Now this is in the very far right of the screen. You can hardly see it, it's just the very corner. You see T get out and she's on a mission. She goes the other way towards the house. A couple seconds pass by, and all of a sudden you see a little boy limping towards the driver's side back seat. It's Gannon. He opens the driver's side passenger door and something falls out. Around that time, T walks back into frame, picks up what Gannon dropped, and starts to climb into the front seat. At the same time, Gannon climbs in the back seat. They shut the doors and they drive off. Around 2:00 p.m., T returns and backs into the driveway. She gets out of the vehicle, slams the door. but only she gets out of the vehicle and slams the door. Gannon's there. Where's Gannon? T would later claim that Gannon was in fact in the truck and that he just got out on the other side. Now, Stephanie Harlow actually brought this to my attention, and I agree with her 100%. Little kids do have a specific side of the car that they get out on. I know because I was one of them. I'm actually still like that. If I'm not driving, I have a specific place I have to sit. And if I don't sit there, I mean, I'll be okay. I won't freak out, but internally I'm having a struggle, and it's something that I really need to like chill out with. Little kids usually have their assigned seat in their head. Like prior to them even getting in the car, they already know where they want to sit. A couple days after Gannon was reported missing, T would later do an interview. During this interview, she has her back facing the camera the entire time, I guess as to hide her identity, as if she wasn't already posting all over social media about how people were claiming things against her and how she's innocent and she deserves a sincere apology. Blech. There's a point in the interview where the guy who's asking the questions to T, he says something along the lines of, "Tell me about Gannon, I don't know him." And I think that he asked this question to see which tents that he would talk about T in. And at first, she's good. She says, "Gannon is so kind. He is this, he is that." But then she sort of slips. And then she starts referring to him in the past tense. Gannon was such a nice guy. Gannon would always be the one to help me with the dogs. Gannon would always. And then I think she catches herself and starts trying to recover by saying is, but it's kind of too late. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Throughout this entire interview, she refuses to say anything regarding the investigation regarding Gannon's disappearance. However, this entire interview, she does not spare any moment to claim that she is innocent and that she is available, that she is in the public eye, and that she is cooperating with authority, even though she's not cooperating with authority because all she's done is focus on herself. She's starting so much drama because all she can say is, y'all think I'm doing this, but really I'm doing that. And it's like, bitch, we're not talking about you. We just want to know where Gannon is. We're not saying anything, just tell us where Gannon is. I am so sorry. This case makes me so heated, and I don't really even know why, because Chris Watts had me angry, but this one makes me so much angrier, and I think it's because I feel like I know this little boy, and it's breaking my heart. The search for Gannon goes on as new information regarding T's checkered past of physical violence comes to play. An audio-video recording that T admittedly recorded on accident, she claims, one night when she was scolding Gannon for allegedly dropping a candle on the floor and burning the carpet. Now, I highly suggest that if you have the stomach for it, you listen to this part of the clip, because I do believe that it is crucial to the investigation. I think that it shows a lot. This clip is really scary. I don't know why. You can't see anything, you just hear it. But you hear it in such a way that you can see him. When T says, "Do you promise you didn't do it on purpose?" He squeals, "I didn't." His voice is shaking. I can see Gannon, coward, holding wherever it was that she beat him, and looking up at her, this woman that he trusts to raise him and take care of him while his father's not there. And he just says to her, "I didn't." She says, "Pinky, Pinky, swear." And he says, "Pinky." And that's it. Speculation and rumors circled until March 2nd, 2020, when Letitia T. Stauch was arrested on charges of first-degree murder, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a deceased human body, and tampering with evidence. T waived her right to extradition after being arrested in South Carolina. but she had to make a stop in Kansas on her way back to Colorado Springs. During this stay in Kansas, she felt it necessary to slip out of her handcuffs and attack a prison guard. It is not clear if T will be facing charges for these additional acts of violence. Some time goes on until March 20th, 2020, when our little boy Gannon, our hero, is found. Near Interstate 90 in Pace, Florida, the body of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch was found, discarded and shoved into a brown suitcase. With the discovery of Gannon's body, additional charges have been added to T's rap sheet. These additional charges include murder in the first degree after deliberation and 8 counts of physical violence that include a blunt instrument, a knife or sharp object, and/or a firearm. And once again, these are additional charges on top of the already outstanding charges. There is currently a gag order on this case, and I believe it is because legal officials have said that they do not want this case to be tried in the media. I believe it is because they want to avoid a Scott Peterson, Casey Anthony-esque type ordeal where they want to have a fair trial. I just hope that Letitia doesn't pull a Chris Watts and just kind of plead guilty and we don't get to go to trial, because there's so many questions I have unanswered, and I don't foresee her taking a plea deal, not having trial, and never telling us what happened, because there's just something about this case where I feel like I need to know what happened. It's for my own sake. I get very involved in these cases. I'm a little strange when it comes to true crime. I will isolate myself for days and just read every piece of information I can. There's lots of speculation regarding how T got Gannon's body all the way to Florida with only a 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. window of when she was gone that day that Gannon disappeared. But I have my own theory about that. I believe that T beat Gannon the night before he disappeared so bad that she was worried that he was going to tell, or that she would have to bring him to the hospital, and she didn't want to have to do that because then she'd get in trouble for child abuse. I believe the next day, Gannon wasn't feeling well enough to go to school because of how bad T beat him. I believe that she started to panic. Even she started to panic and tried to figure out how she was going to get away with having beaten this child and not wanting to have to tell Albert or somebody else. I do believe she either beat him again or drugged him, to which point she convinced him to get in the vehicle with her. Now, it looks like he's limping in this video footage, but it could just be that he's scared and does not want to get in the car with this woman. If you look at the surveillance footage, it is true that T doesn't come back with Gannon. However, there is a great lapse in time from the time that Gannon goes missing to the time that Letitia T. Stauch was arrested and drove in all the way to Florida, maybe when she was going to Daytona with her daughter Harley. There's also some speculation that maybe Harley's involved, that maybe she met up with her at some point and they traded off the body, or Harley's covering for her, or something along those lines. I personally don't think Harley would lie to that extent. I do believe she would tell like little white lies for the sake of her mother, but I do not believe that she had it in her to actually be an active part of the discarding of Gannon's body. This story continues to develop, and please tell me what you guys are thinking. I am so anxious to hear more. Please tell me your theories if you have any about how T did this, or what you think happened to Gannon. Do you think that she shot him, stabbed him? What do you think? I'm trying to stay as up to date as possible. I don't have that much free time, so maybe I'm a little slower than everybody else, but this is a case that is so close to me, and I think that it is so important to get it out there. If you have any other requests on videos, please drop them in the comments below. I'm thinking of trying to do a Susan Powell case, but I have watched Stephanie Harlow's 3-part Susan Powell case about 46 times, and I still don't know how she put it all together and made it so seamless. It's insane. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope you have a wonderful day. Please stay healthy during this pandemic. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.